Hello and welcome to what could be the first ever book folding live stream in the world. Today we're going to make a book art pattern, or at least we're going to start it. It takes a bit longer than the time that we have. The pattern we are making is this. A lovely infinity pattern that says forever and always. Now, this could be the first book folding live stream in the world. And if it is, that could mean one of two things. Firstly, it's a horrible idea and nobody's ever going to watch it. Or two, the world has been crying out for book folding live streaming. And now I can give that to you. So thank you for watching. And I'm going to show you how I make book art. Let's begin. I'll be using the Essential Origami book folding template for this one, which is a very unique way of doing book art. Let me show you how it works. Firstly, you need your book folding template, which is what we have here. You need your book, and a hardcover book works best, but softcover paperbacks can work as well. Also, you need a glue stick, scissors, a pen, and a lead pencil. I like the mechanical versions. You don't need a ruler, but you need something straight. And an optional extra is an origami folding bone. I like the origami folding bone because you don't get sore fingers when you're flattening all the pages. All right. Now, I believe, and please let me know if I'm wrong, I believe this book folding system is the only one that lets you make one template fit any book. Here's how it works. Let's look at how many pages my book has, and we're just going to swap the camera around. How many pages are in this book? We go to the back. Well, there's a few blank ones. 399. Can you guys see that? Yeah, it's in there somewhere. 399. And there's a few blank ones. So 400, 402, 404, 406, 408, 410. And are there any blank pages at the front? 412, 414, 416, 418, 420. All right, so next step, now that we know it's 420 pages, we need to find the correct size paper ruler. What is a paper ruler? A good question. They're very important. So 420 pages. So let's look along. Let's look along. Can we find it? 420 pages. This one. So I'm going to cut that out very neatly. Cutting it out neatly. Doesn't have to be perfect, but nice and straight helps. All right, it is now cut out. So that's the end of that step. Now the next step, we go back to our book folding template. We need some glue. Let's put that on. Okay, see here it says glue your paper ruler here. So there it goes. into the right spot. Nice and straight. All right, now we're ready to move on. Now, if we have a look at this template, we can see it overhangs the front and the back. And that is because I think it looks nice for your book art to have a bit of a border at the front and back. So this sized paper ruler will give us 10 sheets of paper at the front and about 10 at the back. One other quick thing. You'll notice each of the paper rulers have a page number. Let's get that in focus. A page number and a sheet number. When I say sheet, I mean how many pieces of paper are in the book, not the page number, because page 1 and page 2 are both shared by one piece of paper. So I don't count the page numbers, just the pieces of paper, which is exactly half of the page numbers. So the one that I cut out here was 420 pages or 210 sheets. Either measurement works fine. Now, for this style of book art, all of the pages need to be folded in. It doesn't really matter exactly how far you fold them, as long as you fold each one in the same amount. So about a third, or a bit less than a third. I think about there looks good. But again, the exact amount doesn't really matter, as long as it's consistent. So I'm going to fold this one in here. I'm going to use my folding bone. Okay, now here is a good trick. I get my pen, and right where that corner of the page meets the book, so down here, I'm going to draw a little line. This spot is where I want to fold every page of the book into. So now we get our, oops, sorry about that. Now we get our ruler. Let's try and make it so you guys can see that well. Yeah, about there. I line up my ruler with that spot on the book. And then let's draw up and down a whole bunch of times. Up and down, up and down, up and down. A nice thick line. And this line's on the bottom of the book. So when you're finished, you won't even see it. So there we go. A straight line across the whole book. Now the dust jacket of this book is coming off, so let's get rid of that. It's in the way. Okay, nice straight line. Let's move on. Now I need to work out, where do I want this design to sit within the book? Do I want it to be right at the top? Do I want it to be down the bottom? Where do you think? So I think somewhere around the middle. Somewhere around the middle should work well. So let's go about there. And about there. So I'm going to need to do one quick little change. This book is a bit taller than I anticipated. So I'm just going to cut a bit of this off the bottom. We're going to glue it onto the top. So that way we can have a bit more height in our template and it should fit nicely. There we go. Up there. There we go. Good as new and ready to use. All right. So now, as I was saying, about in the middle of the book. So halfway between the top and the bottom. So let's go about there. That looks good. So I'm going to crease the top of this template. So this shows you the height that the template will sit for the whole book. We'll get this book out of the way for a moment. Going to fold the template right where the crease is, and same spot all the way along. Making sure that the page lines up with the back. So it's all straight along there, straight along there. Okay. Next, we're going to line this up on the book. So using the part that we just folded over there, it sits on the page like that, slides it along, and the pattern will be about the middle. Not exact, but close enough for me. All right. Now I'm looking. This allows 10 pages before the template begins here, but only 8 at the back. So I'm going to change that to be 9. I'm going to change it to be 9 for each end. So that way it's a bit more even. I'm pretty fussy. I like things to be spot on. So I'll make it 9 pages folded at the front and 9 at the back. Let's do that part right now. So the first few pages just folded in, so it's 1. Folded in. Go to that little line that we drew a few moments ago. Okay, use the folding bone to flatten it down. And there we go. And while I'm doing this, if you have any questions about book art, feel free to put them in the comments and I'll happily answer any book art related questions that you might have. Or do you have other questions in general, such as, how come my background isn't covering the whole screen? That'd be another great question. Let me know. Okay, page 3 of 9. Page 4 of 9. Page 5 of 9. Page 6 of 9. Page 7 of 9. Page 8 of 9. Page 9 of 9. Was that 9 already? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's always good to double check. All right, 9 pages folded. So now we can see they are all at the same point, more or less. A couple of tiny differences, but that's okay. So now that will make a nice border before the pattern begins. So there's a bit of a border between the book cover and the pattern. Always looks a bit nicer. Next step, and we're going to go for just a little bit longer now. Now we need to fold over one more page, and this will be the first page that we start to cut with our template. So folding over one more page. Okay. Now, next, we need to get our template. We line it up. We're going to go to the very first line that matches this line here. So this is where the template begins, where the infinity curve begins. So move it along to this point right here. Okay, now I'm just noticing that my template is not sitting quite vertical because this line is shooting off to the side a little bit. So I'm going to fix that up very, very quickly, otherwise it ruins the whole pattern. And I just dropped my pen, so that's not working either. We can fix this. Okay. Push this over a little bit. Don't you hate it when your template doesn't match up? Now, so it is 1.1 centimeters above this line over here. So it should go there. Just a small difference, but enough to make a difference. Okay, now let's try that. Ah, better. Much better. So here's where it first starts to join the page. And for these marks, I use a lead pencil. A mechanical one is my one of choice. because I used to use pen, but it left all these blue marks along the finished product. You can see them very, very easily. All these blue marks along your pattern. A pencil blends in with the book a bit more. So I'm going to mark there, the top part of the curve and the bottom part of the curve there. And importantly, put a mark next to the line we just used, and all those other ones as well. They are the folds we just did a moment ago. There we go. So next, and we're going to finish up in just a moment. I'll show the rest of this step. We need to turn the book around, get some scissors. Get some scissors. We need to cut along there, and I like to push. Then we need to push in this flap, and this is what makes the pattern. I like to push the flap in a bit less than 1 centimetre. So there's 1 centimetre. I want it to be a little bit less, or if you like inches, a bit less than 1/3 of an inch. There, about there will be perfect, and then squash it down. And there we go. So that is the book folding process, the essential origami book folding template. I'd love to know what you think. And did you enjoy this? Oh, I dropped all my paper rulers down on the floor. We're making a mess here with book folding. It can get a bit crazy. Did you enjoy this live stream? Would you like to see more book folding live streams? And of course, during the live streams, if you join me at the same time, I can answer any book folding questions that you might have. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you'd like to see future videos like this, or I do lots of tutorials as well. Remember, origami is essential, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.